Welcome to Alchemy Avenue, where we transform in real time, trust the vibe, and grow on purpose. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a reminder that you don't need fixing, just unlocking. Around here, we laugh, we build, we heal, and we elevate, all powered by that deep inner knowing that says, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. You were made for this version of you, so let's expand, let's enjoy it, and let's keep becoming who we already are. Tap in. This is Alchemy Avenue. Jeez, David. Oh. All right, let's get back into the fold. Oh, yeah. He kind of Yep. Alright. Let's go a little bigger here. Just so we can make sure we see it all. And we're going to get to it. Welcome back to another great and powerful episode. Let's get into it today. What we're going to unpack today is how you know the work is working. The quiet signs that you're becoming someone new, someone different, and being able to help life render in ways that you always wanted to. So the changes that don't really announce themselves, the different things that's going on in your life, and your response to those things have ultimately changed. So how do you really know the inner work is actually working? Not because you've been told by someone, not because your life suddenly becomes perfect, not because you haven't experienced another challenge yet, but because something inside you has genuinely changed. I think a lot of us expect healing to arrive like fireworks, a big breakthrough, huge emotional moment, a dramatic shift. And sometimes those things do happen. But for me, what I've been noticing, especially in this last 6 months, since the year started, and even more in the last couple months, some of the biggest changes in my life really didn't announce themselves. They happened quietly. One day I realized I wasn't replying or replaying every conversation in my head. My thoughts and everything felt a lot lighter, clearer, instead of being bogged down by me overthinking and overplaying circumstances and situations that have happened. I noticed that I may start making decisions without needing 5 different options. I start to realize someone may have misunderstood what I was saying, or even misunderstood my perspective, or misunderstood me. And I didn't feel the need to try to over-explain, chase them, and try to say, well, no, I really meant this. Like, seriously, nothing spectacular happened, but something really had changed in me. I just really noticed it. And it made me really sit and do my meditation and just wonder, maybe this is what the work actually looks like. Maybe healing isn't becoming someone completely different. Maybe it's just recognizing that my way of moving through life has quietly transformed. And it really has. It really has. I feel lighter. I feel clearer. I just feel better about just how I'm moving. Not to say that physically some things haven't changed, like different things that I want to happen, but I still feel great and I still feel good about just how I'm moving through. Because if you have something going on, and it's still going to be there, but to me, your perspective on how you see it and how you view it and how you go through it is one of the biggest things that, for me, I just, again, it just it could be optimism, it could be whatever anybody want to say, trust, faith, whatever, knowing, embodiment. That's what I like to call it, because I truly believe and truly know that actually, I just embody that whatever, if I'm involved in it, then it's gonna work out. It is gonna work out. So let's talk about this. You recover instead of living in that space of whatever situation happens. You recover faster. So one of the first signs that the work is working, you still get triggered. People still get on your nerves. Situations still get, you into a place. At least for me, I can just talk about me. Situations still happen, but I don't live there like immediately, or I can see it. It's like I see the situation. I know, oh, this is about to happen. And normally I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then I'll just stop there and just let my mind just process whatever has. So I understand me seeing it and having just more clarity. I see the situation kind of before it happens and I can feel it. And then now I don't have to respond in a negative way per se. Granted, it still can happen, still can get on my nerves. However, I'm just like, okay, all right. Instead of letting it really get to me and be in a space where I'm, stressed or, just even being a little bit stressed. It's still, so I just, again, you still get triggered. You still have situations and challenges and different things with, family, kids, whatever, work, whatever you do. Situations still come up and they still can get to you, but it's really how you respond to it. So I really would have had a difficult time with this years ago because it would have completely threw me into like a space, like not on the outside, you wouldn't really be able to tell. Well, you kind of would tell that maybe I was upset or maybe I just was agitated. However, but internally though, it was a lot. My nervous system, I just felt, that tingly, kind of, nervous, kind of whatever feeling. You just feel it and you just like, oh my God. And then, you had to work to get yourself out of that. Now it's just less work, a lot less work to get myself, again, because a lot of times I see or I can just guess, oh, this about to happen, or I said this and now this is happening. And now though, in advance, and now you're able to tailor how you respond to those situations. Because you still feel it, because we're still human. You're still human. I mean, I haven't got to that space where nothing's going to get to me, and not nothing. It's going to get to me, but it's not going to really change how I move and how I operate. So, like I said, we're still human, but you know how to come back. That's an important distinction, because healing doesn't mean you never leave peace. It means you know how to get back. I like that, because you know how to get yourself back. Again, like I have talked about before, if you are constantly in this kind of vibration, energy, or whatever you want to call it, and then something happens and it brings you down, you already know that's not my normal state. So let me get myself back to where I need to be, because the distance between the reaction and the return gets way, 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 way shorter. Because you hear. Again, when I say here, I'm not saying you're skipping around, singing all the time, laughing. You just, you're in a space of peace. Like, this is your peace. And then instead of how it used to, it may take you, whatever situation can happen, take you down here. Now it only takes you here. And it's like, okay, boy, I can get myself back up. It's okay, cool. It did irk me. Oh, that did get on my nerves. Oh, they did talk to me crazy. No. And I had to, say what I had to say, and then, it is what it is. So now I can get myself back. And again, too, it makes you in a better space too. If you do make a mistake, you feel better about not saying you didn't before, but you feel way better about apologizing, because now you clearly know your intention with life. And if something does happen and it does offend someone, you don't have to be like, oh my God, let me apologize. You're like, oh no, I need to apologize, because you already know your intention. You already know your intention for life, and you will never want to intentionally disrespect or, offend or whatever to somebody. So that's, to me, that's an easier point for me as well. That you're like, okay, boom, that situation happened. Okay, now I didn't realize that affect you like that. Let me, say, of course I didn't mean that. You can always do that now, because again, you were just more clear, because you understand who you are, and you would never intentionally, unless again you may get in a space where, and I have told my guys, and I don't want to learn lessons where I have to be in that space where I have to go at somebody or I have to give it to somebody. I don't want to learn lessons like that, because that's not, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to learn lessons like that. I'm sure there's other ways for me to learn the lessons I need to learn. I just don't want to learn them like that. So again, like the distance between the reaction and the return gets way, way, way shorter. Not because life is easier. Life can be. Again, when I say life is not easier, you may still have the situations that are going on, but you built a relationship with yourself that you can just, okay, I see it. I know it's going to get better. I'm in a space where I know it's going to get better. Let me still stay true to who I really am. So one of the greatest signs of growth to me is that you never get thrown off. It really is. It's not saying you don't never. Let me rephrase that. So it's not saying you don't never get thrown off, but you recognize it way faster than you have before, and you know how to get yourself back. Let me say it like that. So it's not that you never get thrown off. It's that, again, you know how to, it happens, boom, let me get back to my space where I need to be. So decisions stop feeling less like tests. So there was a time when every decision felt like a final exam. What if I choose wrong? What if I mess up? What if people disagree? Now I've noticed something different. I don't need to know the entire future. I don't. I just need to know whether this decision feels aligned with who I am. That's a completely different way to live. The goal isn't perfection and the way things happen and the different outcomes. The goal is making decisions from integrity instead of fear. I talked about, you understand who you are, because if a challenge comes from a decision you made, I still trust the person who made it, which is me. Let me say that again, because even if a challenge comes from the decision you made, I still trust the person that made it, and that person is you. Confidence isn't believing every decision will be perfect. Confidence is trusting yourself to respond to whatever follows. So you stop managing everyone else's experience. This one surprise, it really did surprise me, because I realized I was spending a lot of energy trying to manage how other people experience me. Really was trying to explain, trying to be understood, trying to make sure everyone agreed. Now, I mean, I still care about people, and I still care about, opinions and different things, but I don't feel responsible for controlling the conclusions, though. I don't. I really, 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 really don't. People are allowed to misunderstand me. People are allowed to disagree with me. People are allowed to see life different. And to me, that's not a disconnection. To me, that's freedom. Because I only really, the only person I can control and the really response I control is myself, regardless of who it is. Even when it comes to like my kids, I can help guide them and definitely, step in and be there and do what I need to do. However, they're their own people, and they gotta learn different lessons. Some things I don't like. I used to rush to help and do different things. If I know that this is a situation that you created, maybe you got to figure it out. So you definitely got to be in a space where your peace grows when you stop managing what was never yours to control. So your body begins trusting the present. Something else starts to change. Your body stops treating every situation like an unknown danger. Not because uncertainty disappears, because your nervous system has collected enough evidence that you can handle life. That part is key. That part is key. I'm telling you, because your nervous system, man, your nervous system. If you I tell them, once you start to know yourself more and you start to understand who you are, and when I say who you are, I mean like in your whole self, even the parts of you quote unquote don't like. Once you understand, then you understand your programming, you understand why and how you may not understand how and why you think a certain way, but you know when it comes to certain situations, you think a certain way. You do know it. You at least know that, and you're like, okay, I gotta get myself in a better space in that particular area. Let's just say, and when it comes to money, that you understand that. Internally, of course you would want more money to do everything you want to do, but your ability to handle and understand what that means far as you as a person, that part, at least for me, I know for me, just being able to be in a space where it's okay for me to be able to have whatever I need to do everything I want to do. And that's financially, that's opportunities, that's relationships, everything. It's okay. It's definitely okay, because the question changes. Instead of asking what will work, you begin asking, can I trust myself with whatever comes next? That's a completely different relationship with uncertainty. Your nervous system doesn't need proof that life will be easy. It needs evidence that you'll be okay, because your nervous system is always trying to protect you. And if it's coming from programming, the peace, abundance, and clarity may feel unusual to your nervous system and then your body, because then your body responds. You may physically, like say for instance, you got a wonderful opportunity, a great opportunity, and you still not calibrated yet. You may get sick, or you may feel sick, or you may just feel crazy. Like, this is such a great opportunity. Why do I feel like this? Your nervous system is like, hold on, we don't have to stress out no more. We don't have to be in a constant state. No. Hold on, no. This is too unfamiliar. I don't know. I don't like this. Again, meditation, and just understanding who you are helps with that, because you can be in a space where you want so much, but are you ready to handle it? Are you ready to not self-sabotage if the situation does become great and amazing, and then now you're doing things to work your way back to the situation and the person that you used to be? So you need less reassurance. One of the quiet signs of growth is needing less external confirmation, less validation, less reassurance, less permission. Because the answer is always yes. To me, for me, the answer is always yes. So I don't need permission. If I got an idea, yes. If I got something something that I know I want to do, or like I want to be in this space, yes, you can. One of the quiet signs of growth is needing less external confirmation, less validation, less reassurance, and less permission. Not because you become closed off. Well, we're not saying you just, I don't care about nothing. No, because you become more familiar with your own voice, and you still appreciate encouragement, but you no longer depend on it to move. You don't. You already can just move, and just, again, everything's a yes. Everything's a yes. Ideas, abundance, and how it shows up for you. Yes. It is a yes. So the louder your relationship with yourself becomes, the quieter your dependence on outside approval becomes. That's too real. Super real. So you protect your attention naturally. I don't think discipline changes first. I think awareness does. You start noticing what drains you, what scatters you, what steals your attention, and instead of feeling guilty, you simply begin protecting your energy. Not because you're trying to control everything, because your attention has become too valuable to waste. So growth changes what you're willing to give your attention to. And you may start noticing, at least for me, I'll come home and I can just sit on the couch, no music, no TV, nothing playing, just sit and just kind of in the space of just thinking and just kind of creating. Or I'll sit outside, ground, feet on the grass, and I can just sit out there and just really comprehend, like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is a great space. I don't know. It's just when you're in a space of peace and you understand what that means for you, it's really a beautiful thing, truly. And it starts to really feel familiar. It may be the biggest surprise to you. It may be, because for a long time, peace felt, temporary, almost suspicious. Seriously, like something bad had to be coming. And maybe that's what healing has always been, not becoming someone new, but becoming someone your own mind feels safe living with. So one of the greatest gifts you can really give yourself is becoming a place your own nervous system recognizes as home. That's one of the biggest things you can do. So really, some practical things that you could do really heading into this week or even whenever. So instead of asking, am I healed? Ask yourself, do I recover faster than I used to? Do I trust my decisions more? Am I carrying things that don't really belong to me? Do I still need everyone to understand me? Does peace feel more familiar than it once did? And to me, this is one of the biggest questions. What is one quiet way I've changed that I haven't given myself credit for? Because we'll do that a lot. We'll feel different, or we'll say, oh, that's just, nothing. And it could be that you're so good that, that little part is not nothing. But I think we still need to give credit to ourselves whenever we have those small moments that we don't realize that, oh, I handled that way different than I would have. We got to understand, or whatever that quiet or that way that you're like, dang, I made that decision and I was cool. Okay. Yeah. That is me. That is me. So it won't be more of a surprise. And even if it is, it's a pleasant surprise. You're like, yes, this is me. This is how I operate. This is how I make decisions. This is how I move. So sometimes the greatest evidence of growth isn't dramatic. It's just being stable. You got great foundation. You feel good. And you can just move with clarity. Not clarity that everything's perfect, but clarity that you can see. It's almost like you can see the whole field. And for your next move. Now, granted, you may not see 5. You may not even see all the way the next move, but things just feel so clear that I need to do this next. And you do it. So just really understanding that. So really for a long time, I thought growth meant something completely different than what we unpacked today. And I don't believe it anymore. Everything that we just unpacked is really how I see growth, and being in a space of just understanding that your mind deserves to be clear. You deserve it. We really deserve a clear mind and be able to move with power and precision. So I think growth often looks much quieter. You react less, you recover a little faster. You trust yourself a little more. You stop carrying what isn't yours. You stop arguing with yourself over decisions. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel peace. And one day you look back and realize the person you hope to become has quietly become the person making the decisions today. Not because life became easier, but because you become steadier. Maybe that's how you know the work is working. Not because everything around you changed, but because the way you met life and the way you continue to meet life changes. So don't overlook the quiet evidence. Please don't. The small shifts, calmer responses, quicker recoveries, stronger boundaries, the deeper trust. Transformation doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. And if you listen closely, you may realize you've already become someone your past self was hoping that you will be. So understand this, the work is working. Understand that part. The work you've been putting in, the things you've been doing, is working. It's definitely working. Not because you're perfect, but because you're no longer becoming someone else. You're finally becoming someone you can trust. And that's very, very important and solid to me. So again, this is just holler at me if you got questions about anything. Definitely appreciate you all staying here and unpacking different things with me. Please like, share. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead. Got a lot of different episodes about a lot of different things as far as how we use our power and how we allow ourselves to be, and I say allow ourselves to be the greatest version that we can at each and every moment. So, and then even if, things happen that you're like, I could have did that a little better, or I don't, that showed up a little different, then you still can make the switch and the adjustment. And that's what I'm talking about. So 336-464-7881. Holla at me. Alchemy Avenue 859 at Gmail. I'm getting a lot of questions about being creative. How do you start doing that and finding your voice in that creative space? Holla at me about the canvases. I got the 11x17 light code prints. Again, just get with me. Again, we can put whatever intention you want with these and we'll better move forward. So appreciate y'all unpacking. Love yourself so you can love others. Ashe.